And it all comes down to this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to VCT Americas. The title is on the line, and it's Sadak versus Finesse, Loud versus NRG, El Clasico. Hello, everyone. Once again, we're back at the Riot Games studio in Los Angeles for what is going to be an epic grand finals confrontation between two of the best teams in this region, NRG and Loud. Of course, I'm Golden Boy alongside of Wyatt, Mimi, and Sean. We decided to stand because, you know, sitting's not good for the body. Hello, guys. This is going to be a sick day. I'm so excited. We're getting another rematch of these two teams, and on top of that, it's for a championship.
Yeah, 100%. It was only destiny that somehow, some way, even though the road was, you know, not very straight, that it ended up being Loud and NRG at the end of it, right? These cores just, ever since Loud came to be, it's always these two teams going at it for titles.
Yeah. And these two teams, it was the rivalry that defined the pre-partnership era. So for our first title for VCT Americas in this new era in 2023, it really is the perfect match.
It's so fitting, right? Both of these teams are just well-equipped with great in-game leaders in Sadak and FNS, amazing coaches in Fraud and Chet, and they have the star players across the team like Aspas and Artis. This game will deliver. That's the one thing I know for sure today.
Yeah, no, this game undoubtedly will deliver, but it feels like really only yesterday that we were here starting things off for VCT Americas. We kidnapped Tarek at the beginning of it. We had excellent cringe bits as well. Who doesn't love a good cringe bit, Wyatt, you know? Not Riot, that's a company. And then, of course, you know, we had the desk share their favorite moments. So, guys, I want to ask you, what is your VCT America's top moment? Let's see, who are we going to start with? Mimi, what's yours?
I think mine has got to be the run that EG made and the way that it started in Chosen knifing 100 Thieves in the biggest upset, in my opinion, of the season to propel Evil Geniuses into the playoffs, and then them getting that opportunity and running with it, beating NRG, beating C9, qualifying to Tokyo and to Champions. And while they couldn't make it all the way to the finals, it's just such a fantastic story for a team that started so slow that everyone was clowning on at the beginning of the season to make that miracle happen.
Bit of a traitorous choice, I'm not going to lie. The hood board does not appreciate that very much. And for my choice, I'm actually going with the Bang 1-on-3 against
the clout pick.
This is actually insane. It's one of my favorite moments, not only this stage, but in all of esports ever. The interview with his parents at halftime into the 1-on-3 to win this game. This is the third match.
The script writers were on overtime that day.
The whole crowd is shouting Bang. I mean, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah. All right, well, Wyatt, what about you? What was your favorite moment?
I had to pick also a 1v3, actually, from one of my favorite players in the game, and that's Pancata. This was against Crew on Bind with the Sheriff to win out this game in just insane fashion. I wish we got to see more of this guy, but at least we will at LCQ. He's just so nasty.
Oh, man. And, you know, for me, I have to say, my favorite moment, it's a tough one, but I think it was the friends that we've made along the way. I think it was just the family atmosphere that we have fostered here at VCT
I'm about to die of cringe right here.
Just fall over right now. Yep. I mean, the camera's set up for you to do it.
That's right, exactly. Taco Bear fell over yesterday. Who says you can't, Sean? Live your dreams, buddy. Hey, but guys, look, it's time to pause on the reminiscing for a moment, and we're going to talk about the here and now. Because after 9 matches and 5 days of competition, we have finally completed this playoff bracket. Our masterpiece is complete, and we're down to the final 2 teams. It's Loud taking on NRG, and they're going to go up against each other in a BO5, a best-of-5 showdown for the championship. And Sean, again, it's so poetic that it ended this way. It's interesting that, you know, you have 2 historic orgs in EMEA right now fighting for a championship in Fnatic and Liquid, but yet for us here in Americas, it feels like our region has just been defined by the Brazilians and, of course, the Optic Core.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's been waiting for this. It's so amazing that we get it as a regional matchup now, not only at these like international events, but now we get it within our own region. And the route we had to get here is just so ridiculous. NRG had to win or play 273 rounds in playoffs, whereas Loud only played 97 going through the upper bracket. It just goes to show you how battle-tested this NRG must be coming from the lower bracket, but how polished Loud must be to have gotten here so easily.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have so much more to break down as well, but we want to know from you guys at home, which team do you think is going to win it all? Use the hashtag VCT Americas and VCT, and of course, we'll feature your tweets on the broadcast. But Wyatt and Mimi are both both actually going to pitch something to me for the grand final here, and we're going to let and see how things play out, because I understand you guys do have some prediction presentations that we're going to do a little bit later on, right? Did you guys put good work into your presentations?
Yes,
Yeah,
got distracted by the dog with a little hat.
How could you not?
That was
Obviously.
captivating.
Loud and NRG. These guys so familiar with each other, and also have every dog on standby for this big moment.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys are going to be pitching me on who you think is going to win, because honestly, I really don't know who is going to walk away with this win. I don't think the viewers at home know who's going to walk away with this win. But for now, though, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, make sure you're around, because we're going to have some predictions, and we're going to see who these guys think is going to win, Loud or NRG. Join us on the other side. We'll see you in a few.
It's about time to get it. It's about time, not forget it. It's about time. Never gonna get up, never give up now. Never gonna stop now. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas. It's the grand finals. Now, we have Loud and NRG. They're about to take the stage. But here's the thing. I just don't know who's going to win this. And Mimi and Wyatt think they have all the answers and figured everything out in another installment of predictions. There we have this
Why is it
jingle
country music?
every time.
It's
All right,
just a positive introduction.
sell me,
I
Wyatt.
want to elevate the mood here. All right.
Who are you pitching
I'm
me?
ready to learn.
Now, some of you may be NA biased. I saw that, Sean. You were picking 100 Thieves. Yep, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves. Let me tell you about Lab. They're my favorite VALORANT team.
Why? Why? What's with the aspect ratio?
They're very wide.
Also, they're going to beat NRG again,
Wow.
as they've done in the past, as they did most recently.
I don't like how you didn't capitalize NRG right there, but
A presentation by me.
very good.
Okay.
Prepare yourselves. Undeniable facts.
I love this.
Undeniable. Here they come. Loud have beaten NRG before. You can't deny that. It has happened. Loud also have Ospas,
like a
and they
fever
have
dream.
less. Once again, you can't deny that. And most importantly, NRG do not have Ospas nor less. I mean, again, undeniable facts. Undeniable
Actually,
facts.
very
My eyes
true.
hurt.
Kind
That's
of
actually
base,
very true.
but it's hard because my eyes have just been violated by what's happening on this screen.
Did you know that that's how he got this nickname?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jira is
Yeah,
him
you
just
can't-
like,
Gita Aspas.
Gita, Aspas, Gita. Yeah, of course, of course.
I mean, do you think Artis is going to hit these shots?
Move
He's
on.
not.
Move on. Next
All right,
slide.
next slide. Let's check out the market forecast. The energy stocks, quite similar to the stocks during the Great Depression, actually. Now, where we're at,
what?
1029, the day of the stock market crash, is actually the exact same as when they had lost to EG. Now, you can see that small recovery. They've won a few games since then, but the dip is coming.
Wait, I'm pretty sure they didn't lose on October 29th. Isn't it like June?
Loud, on the other hand, wealth on the Loud side. You can see Sadak sitting in his throne. They are doing extremely well. But moving forward,
Yes.
Okay.
what you might see on this next slide is shocking.
Oh, okay. I'm not ready.
I don't want to be shocked.
Oh, the music change.
Oh.
Is Fennis a double agent?
Is Venus a double agent? Whoa.
Now,
Okay.
See
Blood is
this.
cooking.
look at the hand. Now hold on, production.
Oh.
Enhance.
No.
No.
Do you see that? He's
that
doing the L.
L.
hand.
Is he doing the L?
He
He's
did
doing
the L.
the L.
I can't believe
No
this.
way. He's actually doing the L.
I've just been rattled.
And if you
whole
think
time.
that's crazy,
Go on.
it's time to decode the pattern. Every time Loud and NRG play twice during the same month, they both win one series. Don't believe me? Here's the proof. So this is looking at, previous Reykjavik.
Yeah.
They both won one, lost one. Won one, lost one in the month of 9/2022.
Oh my God.
They're about to play twice this month. NRG have taken the win, which means it is inevitable that Loud will win this game.
Wow.
That's-
Okay.
If that can't convince you, I don't know what
Very-
will.
round of
I don't know what
applause.
will.
Honestly, that was
applause.
very impressive.
I mean, just so, okay, Mimi, it's your turn. Why don't you go ahead and tell
Okay.
us why I'm guessing NRG are going to win?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a conspiracy theorist not giving any true facts
Yeah,
or real things.
fraudulent.
I'm going to give the truest of facts and the realest of presentations. Let's talk about NRG. VCT Americas, why they're going to win? The grand final.
Okay.
They win rematches.
By the
They're very good at them.
Comic
That's a fact about NRG, about the Optic Core before that. They're always great when they play a team a second time. And you guys know what this match is? It's a match.
No way.
Yes.
So they will win because
They
it's a
will win. If you notice,
rematch?
that's an even number of
Wait.
re's, which means it's just a rematch.
What about they beat EG the first time and then EG beat them the second time?
And then they beat them the third time when it was a rematch.
But Loud lost
this is my
energy the first
presentation.
time.
I'm not convinced.
Oh dear, I'm
Victor,
not going
Stop mansplaining the presentation, John.
Flexible. Guys, look how flexible he is. Count it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 agents. In how long? 30 days. That's not a lot of time, and that's a lot of agents. You can see here, he's flexible. And what does that mean? It means they play many comps and can do many things, because he can do that for them. They'll steal opponents' comps. They'll try new things in playoffs. It's very hard to read this team when they're so flexible. Next up, Finesse. He is smart. As you can see in this tweet, he says, we dedicated, we smart, we loyal. Don't
right.
ask about the context. Do not ask about the context of that tweet. It's definitely not from 2014.
But
anyways,
that tweet works.
He's been playing games at a top level. IGLing 10 years. That's a long
Right.
time. I don't know how long Sodok's been IGLing, but probably not 10 years.
Yeah.
He being smart, leading team, and good play. Those are the facets of Finesse that they'll win the game today.
Wow.
It's actually factually true, and I remember that tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a deep
don't
pull.
look at the rest of it. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Moving on. I think they will win because they've managed to stay relevant across many metas and across many players. And I think their success is unparalleled for the best team in the pre-partnership era, continuing the path into partnerships and win VCT Americas only seems right. I think Finesse is the best IG on the game, and their read on the meta is excellent. They're very good at adapting and stealing new comps and ideas deep in tournaments. LATA's a respectable team, but they have a fantastic run. You can't deny this team skill, and, you know, I mean...
What? There's just so much text there, Mimi. Where's the nuance in the presentation?
This is all nuance. Read it. Read the thesis. Read
I'm
the
going
theory.
cross-eyed.
All right, I'm reading.
not sold.
Okay.
They're winning it all.
Personally, I think Loud will be winning.
All right,
Anyway,
Sean.
that concludes my presentation.
Sean, who do you think was right?
Honestly, there's a lot to digest here.
Do you want to go back and read it?
No, please. I'm gonna
you can
go
read it.
with
There's a
Loud,
lot.
and I think Wyatt, you have sold me. You have sold me.
Come on, Sean.
Yes.
I'm a believer in Mimi.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
I have a 100% win
actually-
rate in this
NA
season.
bias.
There's just no
I've had enough
fixing
of
it.
this.
So much
NA
love
bias
for
desk.
FNS there.
Team, we got to go to a commercial break. It's just nothing that we could possibly do. But you know what, guys? We're going to take a quick pause, and then we come back. It's going to be top-tier analysis. No shenanigans, no whimsy, and you're going to love it. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. It's NRG taking on Loud for the championship. We'll see you on the other side.
This game will be close. It'll be an amazing final for the series. Always delivers. Oh, stop reading it.
O Vira bate, já tá com dash ativo, leva mais um, tenta fazer o estrago aqui pra cima de mais jogadores, e a galera vai dando a chance pra ele brilhar! Aspa! Brilha mais uma vez!
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas. It's the grand finals, and we're going to talk about today's matchup, Loud versus NRG. Now, look, it's no shocker here that this is one of Valorant's best rivalries that we have seen take place in this game, and these two teams always find a way to go after each other. And it's also wild how every single time they play, it feels like Mimi is just a close match. They get each other incredibly well. Even in 3-0s, it's still competitive matchups.
All the way back to Reykjavik, it feels like every single match these two teams play is so close. It is constantly back and forth, and right now they are basically sitting dead even in the history between these squads.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been FNS versus Sadhawk, two of the greatest IGLs ever to play Valorant, ever to lead a team in this game, going back and forth. They talked about it yesterday, the mind games, the cores of these teams, the talent going back and forth. They have so much respect for each other that is well-deserved.
they've done so much to push the metas throughout Valorant, both of these IGLs. And I think that's part of the reason why they're so back and forth in these series. You know, there's so many mind games and everything is so deep in every action that happens in these servers.
And these guys have stayed relevant through all those metas, through roster changes, through org changes. Yet, for the core of these teams, this rivalry has continued to define Valorant esports.
And it has been awesome to watch each and every time we are treated to it. But in yesterday's post-match interview, we had Crashies, and he revealed actually what really happens during these matchups. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
We respect them a lot as a team. They have been dominant for a very long time. And I mean, yeah, like we love playing them. It's always a great game when we play.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just mind games every single time. We respect the players a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that game.
And there you can see, I mean, obviously immense respect that these players have for one another across the board here. But, you know, I think it's safe to say that whenever these two teams take the stage, they're always challenging each other to a capacity that, you know, you don't really see all that often in sports. It's really cool to see it play out.
When you play each other that many times, it almost becomes a bit of a sub-game between the IGLs. They know how each other calls. They know how their opponents play. It adds that extra element to making it so impressive that these teams are so constantly back and forth.
It's crazy because they have different ways they go about it too. And FNS is the type of IGL, we've heard him in the interviews, they're willing to comp change at the last second.
Yeah.
Whereas Loud, they make all these little micro adjustments in how they take map control and how they pounce on these sites. So it's so interesting when they come together because you can see all the hard work. It's so visible to you.
And for these teams, one of them has always won at home. Loud has never lost a regional matchup. They were flawless in Brazil. They took home every title that they played. Excellent in that way. But on the other side for NRG, they've always been the uncrowned kings. They've been considered the best in North America, but they're still yet to win a regional title as the core.
Yeah. It really has eluded them for such a long time, and the proof is in the pudding there. But, you know, Loud has truly been the dominant team that we expected them to be in VCT Americas, genuinely from the start. Wyatt, we started at lock-in. We had great results from Loud. Obviously, they would have loved to have been able to pick up that victory. But you look at it, and you can see that the building blocks of this team and what they had present from then to now, unreal, like what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, 100%. And if you kind of harken back to where the conversation was at with Loud heading into lock-in, there were question marks about bringing in the two new players, Kauzin and Tuiz, and they immediately fit in, had a deep run at lock-in, massive contributions from both. And then from there, just the Loud core integrating these new players have been able to remain so effective this entire time.
That they have. And for these guys, it has been an incredible story, an incredible run throughout lock-in to make it to the grand finals. But it did fall flat at the last second, nearly a reverse sweep, winning 2 maps back against Fnatic, being up at the half, and then it all slipped away from them. And now this is a chance for those 2 new players you're talking about, Tuiz and Kauzin, to take their first trophy that I'm sure they felt they were so close to earning in Brazil, at home in Sao Paulo.
And if I know anything about this Loud team, it's the second time around they learned things and they realized they crumbled in that home event in the finals, and it should have been their tournament. I don't think that would happen again, but maybe if they go up big and the nerves start to kick in, you know, that could really reignite itself today.
Well, I mean, you know, they were there before. They got really close, you know, to a championship for those two boys, and then let it slip away. So it's a big opportunity here. But also, speaking of that, you know, Loud as well, they have just been the team that has dictated how this game has been played. You know, obviously, there's always room for experimentation, but it's really cool to see how Loud influenced the meta.
We're the team that we credit this Harbor Viper meta too. They were the first team to show it at lock-in, and now everyone is playing it. And despite that fact, Loud is still the best team at the comps. The way that they can navigate around the multitude of pieces of controller utility, the way that they understand to cycle utility, to stall at their opponents is perfection. And so winning a tournament in the meta they created, it just feels like the perfect ending.
And it's a cool reversal of how last year began, where it was the NRG core on Optic who actually led the meta then. They were the first guys playing. Yeah, they brought Chamber into the fold, and now this year it is the Loud core who have really dictated where the meta is headed.
Yeah, the Harbor coming in from Tuiz is what's so impressive, because apparently coming into this team, he was a duelist main, picks up the Harbor, and he literally sets the meta for the world.
Yeah.
That is such an insane story for a rookie.
And it's the same case for Kalentzine. He was also a duelist player who switched on over, but now everyone is playing it. You see, on Bind, it's getting more common. On Haven, it's getting more common. Everyone is playing it on Pearl. And even on the maps where it's not Harbor Viper, more broadly, double controller has been dominant across the world in the international.
Yeah, it truly has been strong. I mean, everyone likes shooting through smokes. But, you know, it truly has been dictating how this is played out. But also, it helps when you have such weapons on the team. And I think that one player that's most certainly making a case for the most valuable player is Aspas. You got to give the kid his flowers. Sean, has been lights out. And I will go as far as to say, like, when you see this guy play and the way he carries himself, truly a generational talent that has influenced a lot of just the play styles, and just the way he plays in general is just so profound.
I mean, you can look at the screen right here. He tops the stats in pretty much every category. And this guy has been incredible for his entire career in Valorant. But his one thing is, I feel like he's never gotten that title with the MVP trophy where everyone respects him as a player internationally. I think he's finally there. People recognize how dominant he is in the server after, you know, the performances he put up on Jet all stage long.
Yeah, it really has been incredible. And then even when you go on to Les, right? Another player who has just consistently been great, Wyatt, week after week. Les always gives us what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading into this year with the meta shift, with Chamber exiting the meta, Loud were never a team that played it much unless his role was a bit awkward. What he was originally known for was his lurks, was his sentinel play, and with KJ being so prevalent in the meta, his Viper gameplay as well, you're seeing him on the roles that he's best at, and he's been a force for Loud this entire split. The playoffs, though, a whole nother level. At the moment, his lurk timings are bar none the best. He is so crucial to Loud getting map control, gaining space, and finding opening kills as well.
This team really is the super team from Brazil. Every player in their individual role is incredible, and while Les and Aspas are the stars that shine the brightest, everyone is playing to that level. And on top of that, when it gets to deep places in tournaments, when we get to the playoffs, the grand finals, that's where Loud plays up to that level and gets even better.
Yeah, well, thankfully, so do their opponents, NRG. Let's go ahead and move on to them here, because everyone expected that this team was going to come into Americas, Wyatt, and be a force, but it wasn't the case. They were trying to find themselves, come up with unique ideas, and now you're starting to see this NRG team really come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. The hopes were high early off a strong performance in Lock-in, where they got eliminated by Loud, actually, in very close fashion. Start of the season, they were doing some experimental stuff. Artist was playing a lot of different agents. There were maps where Victor was playing Jet. I was like, why is this artist just not playing Jet here in this one? And then they started to figure things out, and then a few, like about halfway through the season, they just went nuclear. FNS's calling was just unbelievable for the latter half of the split. Far and away the best IGL in my eyes over the split.
And they've kept that story of starting slow and recovering into the playoffs as well. They got first rounded, but they have ran it all the way back in the lower bracket, knocking out 3 of the 6 teams who made it to playoffs to now find themselves in another grand final.
And it's so crazy, right? 6 teams make playoffs. NRG's one of them. They've knocked 3 of them out and have a chance to get a 4 scalp today against Loud. And like you guys said, FNS's calls just continue to be so impactful for this team. But this guy on your screen right now has also had incredible impact in the controller role. They just keep having success in so many new ways.
Well, yeah, and you know, speaking of that, right, you have rookies on Loud, but you also have Sam, a rookie here, who's looking to play for his first championship. What an incredible story it must be for a streamer to playing for a championship.
Yeah, he played last year on NRG, and he was always a great player, but he was never on a roster that could contend for these championships. And in his first season with a world-class team, he has been incredible. Statistically, I think he might be the best or one of the best controllers in VCT Americas, and he's playing against the best in the world.
He has to be the best controller in our region. I know that might, you know, be a controversial statement, but this guy, if you look at his history in the last 90 days, he's played all 5 controllers. He's a true controller main compared to some of the other players that are playing controllers in the region. He's so flexible. He learned Harbor this stage and is already looking like one of the top 2 Harbors in our region.
Real quick, who you think is going to win this? Who is walking away with the first ever VCT Americas champion? Sean, go first.
I'm taking NRG. I gotta stay true.
Gotta go NRG.
Loud.
I think I've got to go for
gotta
NRG
go.
as well. The storyline of the lower bracket run feels perfect, but it's going to be as close as it always is with these two.
I don't know which one makes an L, but whichever one it is, that's the loud one.
All right.
It's loud, it's loud, it's loud.
Well, you guys heard from our analysts, but it's time to put an end to this pre-show and kick things off the right way. And you couldn't have asked for a better way to do so. A best-of-5 showdown in the next chapter in El Clasico is about to take place right now. Loud versus NRG. The championship on the line. VCT Americas starts right now. This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. This is do or die for a lot of these teams.
It's a culmination. Who's going to be going to Masters?
Quer finalizar esse cara? Vai contra outro!
One enemy remaining.
Who's that? The knives in his hands and 4 kills.
If there's one thing we've learned about VCT Americas, is that there's always a chance.
Ei, Jezi! Faz o Calil, olha ele! Calil!
A double swing coming across, and Victor! Oh! The trigger discipline to let up the 2 and a spike.
What was that? He's gotten down to 1v1. Oh my God!
I expected Loud to be in the finals going into the season. They had a hot start to the season. They were like firing on all cylinders.
Tenta fazer o estrago aqui pra cima de mais jogadores. E a galera vai dando a chance pra ele brilhar. Aspas!
Another tap onto it, forcing out the Utah flash play. Krauzin, 1 HP and a dream.
Eu já falei isso várias vezes, são 4 campeões mundiais daquele lado. Então, realmente é um time muito bom individualmente e muito perigoso.
Trying to get it all the way to Half. Victor, he can't quite take the fight here, but he waits it out anyway. Half onto the defuse, plenty of time left, but Som, it doesn't get cleared. 1-2, can he make it 3? Yes, indeed.
Eu acredito que seja o time mais perigoso do campeonato que a gente já enfrentou até agora, né? Querendo ou não, a gente teve uma derrota seca de 0-2 pros caras.
We had the stick and we won't get it. Energy will get the series. Now tying things up into the rivalry between these two teams. It's tied 4-4 now.
We're even right now, so hopefully we get that one up on them.
Riot Games Arena, it is finally time for the first ever VCT Americas Grand Final. It has all come down to this. Just 2 teams remain, and at the end of the day, only one will walk away as your champion. Without further ado, let's welcome onto the stage your 2 grand finalists.
Eles chegaram até a final com apenas uma derrota. Recebam a seleção brasileira e os atuais campeões do Champions. Aspas, Kawazin, Sadak, Les, Twiz e o Coach Frod. Faça o L imediatamente pra Loud.
Fighting Loud is a team that had to fight their way through the lower bracket. They are the only team to take down Loud on this stage. The North American powerhouse. It is Crashies, Victor, Som, Artis, Finesse, Coach Chet. Make some noise for the uncrowned kings of North America. It is NRG!
And there you have it. Loud NRG about to take the stage as they face off against each other yet again and make history here in VCT Americas.
401 days ago, Sadak and Finesse fought each other for the very first time on stage at Iceland. For the last year, their rivalry has defined an era. 8 matches, 2 titles, and they sit dead even. And now for the inaugural championship of VCT Americas, they have to settle that score.
And it's NRG looking for revenge from Loud, knocking them out at lock-in in close fashion. Overtime, a heartbreaker for NRG. If they can do this here, not only will they get revenge on Loud, but like you said, maybe they're going to get their first trophy for America ever.
Loud also has regressed. Lock-in finals, they were up on the last map, almost made the reverse sweep happen, but it slipped away from them. And now for Tui's and Cowanzine, the 2 young stars on this squad, this is their chance to lift their first trophy with Loud.
Indeed, they're looking for that first title today, Mimi. And today, guess what? They have a huge edge coming into this map, Vito. Getting 2 bans.
Massive.
It's a huge advantage for these prep-heavy teams. So I really look forward to the curveball Sadak throws in. You got to keep in mind the last time these teams met, NRG 2-0'd Loud in the regular season stage.
And like what you brought up earlier, Sean, NRG had to make a brutal lower bracket run. They have shown pretty much every map already in playoffs.
How many rounds have they played so far?
173 rounds.
2 Louds.
97.
Jeez Louise.
3 times the content for Loud to watch and prepare for this one. And on top of that, they have the double veto advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, they're going to get rid of Pearl
The map they
first.
picked in the last best.
I don't think anyone's mad about that one.
But that being said, all time, they have lost 3 times to this NRG core on Pearl. They've never beaten them there before.
And then they banned Split, which is the map that NRG picked last time. So they banned both of the maps they played.
And that means that Bind and Haven are both open. Bind has been NRG's home ground for a long time, but Loud start on theirs. Their Ascent has been near flawless. They only had that 1 loss to EG, and they've only ever lost to 3 teams there.
And one of the teams they lost to was this NRG core, but they also beat them 4 times on Ascent outside of that 1 loss. They are the gods of that map, but leaving in Bind is the real question mark. That is NRG's home.
We know as NA homers, right? That is FNS's dream that they left Bind in there.
But I was just going to say, though, it makes sense. I mean, I think if they could give them 1, you give them Bind, you take out the maps you lost to last time.
It's an understandable decision, but my question on Bind is, what is the comp? They were running that crazy chamber
for Loud.
last time, which
yeah.
I wasn't super big on. Maybe they'll pivot. Maybe they'll have more ideas around it. But let's talk about the last few maps in the series, because that's where it gets way closer, in my opinion. Fracture, one that both these teams have been solid on. It's the same case for Lotus for NRG, but for Loud, they haven't played that one since they were experimenting with Gecko at the very beginning of the season.
Well, Loud actually, they played Fracture against EG, where they were running the Viper Omen, which was so interesting, and that could have been a counter pick into Com Sova. I'm very curious to see if Loud run that same comp today.
And the final map, Haven, one that both teams are good on. And despite that, despite having played 8 series against each other, they've only played Haven 1 time. Whew. So if we actually make it to the end, it'll be a very rare map we get to see between these 2 teams.
Let's narrow in on map 1, though. It's Ascent to start. It is Loud's home ground throughout this season, and both these teams we expect to play the exact same comp. There is a defined meta here, and both teams will pick into it. But in this matchup, the players I'm watching are the 2 youngsters on the controllers looking to find their first trophy for Tui's and Som. This match has so much pressure on them, especially for Som. This will be the biggest match of his career.
Absolutely, and they're going to be starting on the defensive half. Loud has been known to push and pull these rotations so well on Ascent. Keep an eye on A main. Can Loud control A main? If that's the case, then NRG is going to be reeling all around the map.
And of course, we're just going to see how this, plays out. Obviously, if we can get to that point, I do think we're going to get to 5. But let's go ahead, though, and get this grand finals underway, Riot Games Arena, because it's time for NRG versus Loud, the grand finals, and I couldn't think of 2 better casters to call the action than Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Riot Games Arena, you find yourself in a rare opportunity where within these 4 walls, Bala, history will be made, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's the first grand finals of VCT Americas. We played 9 weeks to get here. And I'm so ready for this. This is so good.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time today. I can feel it. We're gonna have a real good time today. Ascent is where we will be kicking things off in this marathon best of 5. Again, remember, Loud did have 2 bans leading into this because they come in from the upper bracket, but as much as history will be made, Paula, there's a ton of history to talk about between these 2 teams to begin with.
Yeah. There's an endless well of story between these 2 teams. It is so deep. It cuts so far. And I mean, there's no better 2 teams to have in the grand finals, given that this was the expectation before the season, before even lock-in, that these 2 teams would be on top in the Americas League. And now here we are,
Gifted,
9 weeks later.
and gifted with an opportunity to see them clash when the stakes have never been bigger. Loud starting off on the attacking side. It's been well documented how successful they are on this map. How they run circles around their opponents, and they're going to have the opportunity to do it here again against bitter rivals.
There's a trap play set up here on Cat. With Som down bottom mid, yeah, the paranoia through, and it's completely countered. Tui's with 2.
Sadak in a position where he may be able to deal a little bit more damage as Kalanzin is helping out as well. Numbers in favor of Loud, but they've been equalized at 2. Artist with 41 HP has to dash away. And we're going to get a brief moment of reset.
I can't believe this actually turned back in NRG to make it even either. Look at Artis.
He's so far up.
He is so proactive. In a situation like this, he's making a play right off the gates in this pistol round. But it's the wrong play, actually. He could have gotten a flank on A. They're walking into B by themselves. The tricky part is they still, I mean, even though they'll clear sight here, there's a lot of room for Artists to be in any of these pockets, so they have to go really slow. The problem for NRG is Som's on the, oh my goodness.
30 seconds
Position
left.
now given away.
Spike planted.
Kalanzin just has a dart, no shock dart or anything like that. Only say that because you look at how low the health is for both members of NRG.
If Artis did not spot Kalanzin there, Som would be in a world of hurt, but now he has this knowledge that he can go into this 1v1.
The question is, does Kalanzin expect it? Artist looking for the swing.
Both known.
Som creeps forward. 9 HP is not going to be enough to stand up in that fight. And now Artist, who had been spotted from the beginning, cannot deal any damage. Loud, get the pistol.
And it's important to acknowledge there is Brazilian representation in the crowd today.
Well, I'd say it's like a 50-50 split, given how things sounded at the beginning. I couldn't tell who was chanting for who.
That's a big pistol round. On Ascent, throughout the entire season, we've been talking about, it's so defensive-sided. No matter how hard you win on the defensive side, it's not over yet, given this other teams will switch sides.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of, with Loud, the way that they've been playing has actually shifted back to being a little bit more even. But yesterday, NRG against EG, it was the typical story. They started with the 9-3 half and almost lost that lead, despite winning both pistols.
And so with that history in mind, the question is, will Loud be able to replicate what they've done in the past, where they have found success on this attacking side? The statistically inferior side at that.
This round's all about reading out the stack that NRG called.
Here.
There's going to be a drone in for Tuis. Who can break it? And whether the drone can get any information that signifies the stack is here. It's only Som spotted with the shorty up close. Som usually will be playing towards A, but now with the knife spotting the KJ, they're not actually quite sure, but either way, it's not running into a stack.
They're going back.
And so is NRG, actually. This info, Crashes is garnering a lot. He might die, sure, but not before getting a kill.
Which in a situation like that is all you could possibly ask for. He gets his, and the rest of NRG feeling a lot of pressure. Look at him huddled up.
Still pivoting. With 30 seconds, still pivoting. And it should allow them to actually continue and have a clean anti-eco. It could have gotten dangerous. If they barreled through Cat there, or if they went in with that initial drone, you can see how cautious they are and how much they respect each other right off the bat.
10 seconds left.
Loud get the spike down. Simon Artist, only 2 that remain. I mean, almost a deja vu of what we saw in the previous round. Just a little bit more health for the defenders this time.
Interesting smoke. Act like he's crossing in spawn. Either way, they're just gonna go for the exits. Just gonna go to die to the spike. And I like how Les and Sadak actually held the space outside of switch right there, outside of that breakable door, specifically so that his team could rotate out in the late round, in the time when they need to get their guns out. So either way, no consequence for Loud. And it is a very clean anti-eco. Even with the risk that was involved in that one.
And they only lose 2 E's. They keep a Phantom, a Vandal, and a Bulldog into the next round. That's not a bad setup, all things considered, for Loud.
Only the one Spectre, kind of the weaker weapon that you consider this bonus now for them. 4 rifles into it. So super, super even, despite what should happen. So NRG have a big task ahead to anti-bonus them, and Artis is gonna want to challenge top mid right away. You've been seeing that over and over.
Here.
Within the first 3 rounds, really. Some damage done, actually, on both Aspas and Sadak with that spam.
Poke, a little warning shot. You start to see some of the flashes head out towards A. Victor pushed off the angle. And Loud gladly fill in. Also note, yeah, they've left Les in a cheeky little spot on the outside of the alarm bot, too.
Oh. Aspas has been known to pop up in that little spot right there. Finesse. Gets into a cross with Victor. This is really dangerous.
It feels like we've seen this before. Off the flash, Finesse on the swing, looking for the third. Crashes, delivers. Two, he's trying to counter-punch back, though. And there's not much he can do there. NRG are on the board.
That's such a beautiful pickup from Victor to get into that crossfire position, and a mistake by Loud to try to push in there when there was no smoke down, when there was no smoke available, given that they just went for that tree pressure. The follow-up flash is just beautiful, and I love as well, whether intentional or not, that little jump to peek with the flash so that if somebody's just spraying,
yeah,
better chance of staying alive through it to catch him fully unaware. Massive, massive pickup for NRG. And again, Artis dueling down mid. Do you have an Odin on Cal and Zine?
Here.
They'll check for the one-way, throw a dart over towards A, and immediately pivot back towards this B side.
Deploying drone.
All 5 from Loud, feeling things out. Looking to see where they can strike. You see the shock dart clearing out the first nano, traded in kind by Crashies.
Flash already out.
Looking to be the first line of defense. Aspas is taking a lot of damage. Look through those nanos. Finesse close by.
They're pausing so much with a minute left. They're just looking for picks right now before they start the next step.
And there's not a single thing being shown. NRG are so disciplined here. Again, it's Finesse and Crashies who are back sight between the spams that are coming through. They finally strike. Artis netting a free one there. That flash is gorgeous. And they've been set up so well by Victor's utility for these last few rounds. Loud find themselves within striking distance, so 2 remain, and they do have the spike. They've cleared out backside, but they are weak. Kalenzine's gonna have to make a massive play here.
Player
And
standing.
instantly just dropped by Som.
Som coming through B main there. Easily able to take down Kalenzine's who's set up. I actually like how Sadak repositioned the spike plant there, but that is really rough. To have his contact player get taken out before he even gets the spike down.
Yeah.
And that's just gross. Again, the follow-up flash from Victor. This is a well-known idea. It goes back to their first bounce when this comp really got solidified in the meta. Victor's flashes over top from spawn to help the guys peek out of backside are so nice, but also finding the timing there because Loud, in this new iteration of their Ascent, which isn't a comp change or anything like that, but they are able to slow it down. You saw they were around 30 seconds standing in the lane. Finding the timing for the second peak from Victor is not easy. It's so important here to shut down Les if you're NRG right off the gate, because that guy, when he gets hungry for those lurks, he'll take as much as you give him. And we already saw a little bit of that in middle in the bonus round. He got shut down there too.
Also important to consider for Finesse to be the one who's starting to get some of these early kills. You know how confidence-driven this game can be. For the leader to be calling and fragging like that this early bodes well.
Oh
for the
my
future.
goodness. Down to 9 HP.
Spot's close by.
He's got to be shaking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And there's no way out. He has his dash, but with 9 HP,
It's
so difficult to escape.
It just gets worse, too, when you consider now Artist is here. Finesse rotating off.
And to be clear, they never knew he was actually there.
Has the patience paid off? He's got the dash procced, and now they know. Yep, that'll do it. Spots with no ground gained.
And that's the spike, too. And to see Finesse even be selfless on top of getting a couple good kills here early is so important. They're jumping out for the second player to go for the kill on the swing on Kawanzin. And this off angle is so nice. Again, that's how you catch less. He sees something empty. He's going to go. He's going to continue to go until he finds contact. And that's not the angle you expect if you're less. Honestly, throughout this playoff so far, Loud has only played 2 matches, but Les has looked like the MVP in both of them for his team.
He's been so good.
He's going to have to slow down immediately, not go for any of those
Scanning ahead.
exploration bouts. And Artist finally a 3rd round where he's aggro, but it's not in mid. This time it's in B main.
Also note, he hasn't done an op at all.
There's
Another
5
round
players
where he has
here.
a Vandal. He's going to get a little info off of the Hunter's Fury. Crashy's getting attacked. Crashy's getting the kill. Now Loud forced to reset and reconsider how they want to approach this round. They look for an opening, and it's just into Crashy's crosshair again. I mean, Loud are getting decimated.
Last player
Can
standing.
Tui's flip the script in a 1v3? Finesse is weak. Spike's out of reach. The onus is on Tui's to make a play.
He honestly has to try to get up on the lane at some point. Saw him in a position where he can peek, and Tui's is onto it immediately.
Yeah, I think he heard him.
This this high-low in market and logs, it's almost unbeatable, but with the jiggle or 2.
Maybe. Oh, he got one. But there you see the strength of the high-low, right? Yeah, you can take one down, but there's no way you get both.
It's crazy that we've seen multiple instances of
Take flight.
that sort of play where it looks like like not even able to get a kill in one of the setups late in the round. Finesse jumping across last time, this high-low this time, and Loud is still getting a kill.
Yeah, they're still getting one.
They're so good. No matter what you do, you have to be perfect in that sense.
Guns up, get deadly.
Flash here from Sadak to get control of A main. And Victor is there to receive. The knife, it'll slow them down.
Just pistols for Loud here. Constantine is his ult, but that's the only real thing they have as an equalizer and attempted one. And this seems like it's just going to be eco frags for NRG once more. Just complete dominance, and honestly, it's so odd to see a team of Loud's caliber so
Down mid.
kind of at a loss early in this map. On the side that they have started to change tides on.
It's ridiculous, too. I mean, they are dominating in these first engagements as well, and you saw the focus on that at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
An Artist who just had one of the most insane defense side performances from a Jet player. It's starting to heat up again. 3-0 now on first kills to first deaths.
It's starting to. The guy's 10-2 right now. I mean, that guy's full on fire.
The reason I say starting to, though, is because he had just a ridiculous ascent against EG yesterday. Within the first half, he got 7 first kills.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get anywhere close to that against Loud of all people, and this is for Artists who joined this team, started in the midst of the best rivalry in Valorant. So he's stepping in the middle of 2 dueling teams who have been insane all time and has to fill big shoes if he wants his side to take the lead in this. They're even up to this point. But it's him stepping up big time, 5-2 for NRG. Only that pistol and the anti-eco won for Loud so far. It's a similar story to what we saw yesterday on Ascent against EG for NRG, just a dominant defensive side.
5 rounds in a row for NRG. They find themselves at a 3-round lead on the other side of this timeout. Called by Danny, called by Fraud to see how they make these adjustments. Because it hasn't looked good up until this point. Again, they have Kawanzin's ult. Now they have Aspas' 2. You can't imagine he'll use it here, but they do have some tools.
We might have a push here instantly down mid from Artis.
Yeah, you see the setup on the minimap.
Yeah, both Sam and Victor, the double flashers. And the dart as well. He might go for a dash. Smoke top mid, dash in, but there's nobody there. And this is a setup where Loud can react into A if they get the information. I think they might.
And I think they may be a little wise to that too, as you see Finesse's setup, everything is here. But he gets hit by the knife, and they're going to be able to exec onto the site just fine.
That smoke top mid kind of gave it away, and you can see actually only 3 players entered this A site. Didn't break the turret because it was suppressed, but KO ult in response from Victor. They're going to hit this, flood it fast.
They have Finesse's lockdown too, but again, countered by Kawanzin's ult. He is playing off-site, so they can't really rely on that tool.
I think he got suppressed. He's running back into this now.
Trying to make the play up here. You see the shock darts going through. Numbers heavily in favor of NRG. Kawanzin and less. Can they hold the spike? Can they hold the line?
Nowhere to run.
There's his ult.
Result used. Less collecting the first down. Kawanzin gets another. They're going to hold this thing. It's a 2v4! What a round from Loud!
Finally a response. There's a big drop there for Loud. But the setup is perfect. The entire round, Kawanzin actually did not get suppressed by Victor's ult. They played off-site. They accepted the shark attack that came out from NRG. Saw the smoke, saw the signs, instantly reacted into the A, and nullified everything. Surprised Finesse actually didn't go for his lockdown.
Similar strike setups here, focus towards A. You see the setup? It's just flash and darts. No commitment.
For the spam, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, Crashes gets his Odin online. The Sova battle on that is crucial.
That knife just tagged a couple members from Loud in A main.
Destroyed.
What is the response off of that? Also note, Artis op online for I believe the first time this half.
And it did take that B line with the spam that went on. This is something NRG has been adding to their playbook a lot, is allowing themselves to give a lot of pressure in one direction to funnel the Loud players in their opposing team into, while it might look weaker on the minimap, it's an op. But Loud's not biting at all. They're happy to go engage where the strong side was right off the bat. 45 seconds too. They don't have as much room to pivot given they don't have mid control.
Oh, and that knife is just going to delay things even longer.
Right here.
I have to go for a lockdown with 30 seconds.
Paranoia.
The spams, they're just fighting. Oh my God!
Saw with the ace. The resistance keeps the distance as Loud cannot get on the site.
Are you kidding me? Where did that just come from? What in the world is this?
Those last 3. What do you say?
That just is not real. Psalm. W streamer, rookie season, first time in a grand finals regionally ever. And that's what he does in the 10th round.
And it's a point similar to what you were saying about Artis. He's thrown into this rivalry. And he looks as comfortable as ever. Look at Aspas hunting, trying to get him top. He can't land anything. So much distraction as Crash uses start, tagged everyone as well. Real good presence of what's before him. The op shot not landing, splitting the uprights as less punishes. Now things slow down too. He's having slipped the net. He's looking for more.
Honestly, NRG have lost a big reason why they're so good at this map right here in this round, and I think it's because of the momentum just gained by Psalm. Chaotic things after a situation like that.
Here.
Loud with every intention of fighting fire with fire have gotten themselves down to a 3v3. Now numbers their way.
Les has mollies here, but Crashies! They fight the flanker.
And there's going to be one more. Crashy's still looking for another. And it's found. Now Tui's left in this with the Sheriff, a 1v2. We've learned no round is safe. First shot's tagging, going a bit wide. The Paranoia looking for the swing. Crashies with the spam. Too many targets to choose. None of them found. You imagine Crashies is going to get the 100 free offline off of that.
They get up to 7. With that, a fast eco round from Loud, really causing chaos. That was no timeout, nothing called there. But Loud instantly trying to bring it to him after a ridiculous round out of Som.
Planted.
If Osmos gets that kill, all of a sudden you have a cross. Finesse can't even get into position to put this lockdown down. Very dangerous.
Enemy spotted A.
And also, props to Finesse there, getting off of the defuse after that paranoia goes off because he knows he's going to have to fight. 3 players in mid here, trying to support the op of Artis, and that actually might allow one of these NRG players to get even deeper than even this.
First shot rattles off. And you're right, they leave Finesse in its place, tucking inside the smoke to see if anyone dare challenge the Shroud left before him.
And it's very important that Crash has got his ult on last round because round 11 here, we've got KO ult and the KJ ult too. Les has had this for a couple of rounds now, but obviously Crash can cancel as long as he plays away from that KO ult, if he allows them. And right now, he's really close. If he allows them to combo that without breaking the KJ ult, that's dangerous stuff.
Oh, that spam hurt. He's gonna get pushed off the angle though.
Yeah, no ult here allowed. They're gonna get a free B site.
Oh, Victor's on the flank as well. So much attention was drawn towards Finesse, who had just showed himself, and that was the window for Victor to strike.
Well, now they have the Hunter's Fury for the post too. And Loud is constantly leaving 1 extra, 2 extra outside of the site.
Crashies also has his dart, and Victor has 2 flashes. Look for them to try to set that up and conceal it with the flash.
Out.
Just waiting now. Start to see some of that spam go through.
They have to wait for it timing while that is getting reloaded, the Odin out of Kalanzine. Trying to look for drone tag 2. 4v5.
They're burning the clock on this one. There it is. It's going to get all the way down. Now Spots is dead. Som's going to get 1 too. Kalanzine 1 against the world in a sense.
Time.
Drops on 1, and he's bought almost all the time he needs. The dink is good. But they should still have enough time. Yeah. No! Loud did such a good job of buying time there.
Round in the half.
Just the Odin spam alone. That's what they were waiting for. That was the cue for them to drone in, look for the tag, and start using that Hunter's Fury to get in. But also having to deal with less all the way back. I mean, Artis sprinted towards that spike, and they still didn't have enough time. That one hurts. Because NRG was looking to have a fantastic half after they got their 7th there in the last. All of a sudden now, 5 is in reach of Loud. And that is not the sort of half you want to have.
No one really close to ultimates here in this final round of the half. Whoa, shot out from Artis, not connecting though. It's a force stack from Loud towards A. Just less on the opposite side of the map for now.
Remember, as soon as his smoke faded last time, crazy things happened. Loud wants to duel again, you see it. And they spam him. Finesse off of a jump peek. On a spammable angle, he gets punished.
Victor got tagged too.
Drone dash in. Loud have the sight.
Has the spike committed, now finally starting to work its way out. Artis is on the opposite side of the map too. He's not gonna be able to join the play for a little while. While Loud have already gotten in. They've set up in their post-plant positions. They're starting to dump utility. They have the setup they're looking for. Les also in a position to be able to peek up. You see him just on the other side of the box while they try to funnel in from tree. And once again, they cannot.
Player standing.
This looks like it's gonna be a flawless holdout from Loud. Or as close to it as you could possibly get. Loud get 5.
That round is only the second first kill for Loud, and you can see the difference it makes. That pause allows them to just dominate. Just slowing down, and they still didn't even go into the site there. They made sure Victor was not running through that smoke. You actually saw them get punished a lot early on in the season when that sort of thing was happening. But Loud have somehow brought this back into a very, very doable position.
And it really feels like it was off the other side of the timeout. Either way, we're going to leave that to the desk. Let them break down everything that's gone on. Dash, take it away.
Thank you so much, Doug. Happy to be hopping on the desk as Loud brings it within 2 here as we hit the halfway point of the first map. We're also welcoming Com onto the desk to help lend that pro player perspective as we evaluate our grand final here in VCT Americas. So Com, right out the gate, 7-5 first half, Loud getting it back within reach there. Just overall thoughts on how the series has opened up.
I think at the start, NRG had a really good read for the game. I mean, Victor's flashes had so much value to start this game. And then I think after that, I mean, I saw FNS smile. I don't think I've ever seen him smile in a match before. So, I mean, you could tell they're just feeling out the game. They're grinding out these rounds, and hey, they're looking good.
And it started with rounds like this one where the read was so good. They understand that it's going to be lobby control for Loud. Do that variation of the Shark attack with the Sova. Or the round pretty much just after this where they funnel Loud into this A exec. It's a 3-player stack, but they really only needed some with the ace. And these rounds are so impressive, but still Loud has managed to recover to 7-5.
That's so crazy. I thought the reads from NRG were phenomenal all half long. Fraud took that time out, and that's when Loud started to click. And if it weren't for that ace, I feel like this would have swayed in Loud's favor. But still, they grind out 5 rounds after that half. It felt like NRG did so much and still didn't win the half significantly.
Yeah, but Sean, I mean, Finesse cracking a smile. You feel like that's a scary omen there for Loud fans?
That is terrifying, actually. Yeah, that guy doesn't smile in the game.
Yeah, Com, you just played against this team in Loud, and you beat them on Ascent, one of their best maps.
Yep.
What can NRG look to exploit on this defense?
I think for sure inserting players into like Market or Cat, like really getting that info and baiting out the util, I think that's something that's going to be huge for their attack. But I think after that, it's just capitalizing and not hesitating on your plays, like always just giving your full confidence into everything, and I think they got this in the bag.
Well, either way, a 2-round differential between our two teams in the first map of the grand final is about as good as it gets there. Let's dive into the second half as we hand it back over to Doug and Bala for the call.
Thank you so much, Dash. Yeah, just 1 half down in what should be a banger of a marathon once again. A best of 5 to decide who walks away with the crown of VCT Americas. And Bala, it's been a tightly contested bout so far.
And the crazy part is they've had so many battles on this map. In grand finals where this Optic Core has played against Loud, they've started on Ascent 3 times. Home ground for Loud. Pistol run immediately again.
And it's all pace from NRG. But Kalamazine Shock's able to hold him back for now.
A third.
Spamming through, they're lit up, and they're dropped. Pistol Loud.
Both pistols now for Loud. And that is just perfect from Kalamazine. The double shocks that came in got so much damage done. Obviously the first player there who went down.
Look at that.
Doing so much damage, it's Tui's. Both shocks get a kill, and then the dart is just way too much for 2 players who are already dealing with a lot trying to get through that choke. There's no way you can break down that dart. And he is instantly in that position where you know he knows what he wants.
Here.
No force up from NRG. A heavy stack towards A.
Right
Now
here.
understanding there is a Marshall on the board. What else can they feel out? What else can they find? Sadak feeling some of the pressure. The classic, not able to land.
Man, he really didn't trust that.
No, he didn't.
That they were going to push off of that flash.
But a flawless round out from Loud to tie us up at 7.
And hold on, is that Sadak shooting some bodies? Oh, that's crazy. What happened to respect?
I mean, he can be the showman. He can be a showman for sure.
And honestly, NRG should have been able to punish Sadak there. He was fully blind. You had Artis updraft over top. And somehow he just survives while fully blind for about like 2 seconds with the classic in his face. Oh, it was just nerf darts, that's why. All tied up. That Ares is a really nice tool to carry over into a bonus round because it unlocks these sort of strategies right here where Kalamazine is really controlling B main. Like that. Sadak just baited him into Aspas's Marshall angle.
Looking for another. There's that flash, and it's good.
Oh, the flash is great.
Very nicely done. Victor is taking a lot of space mid, though.
And this is what Colin was talking about, trying to insert somebody deep in these positions. And it might net them a kill, but Aspas aware, and the timing is terrible.
Well, Victor was far from it.
And that's not inserting, that's going way deep on the lurk.
Yeah. NRG forced to reset here, while the threat of getting bonus looms heavy.
Revealing area.
How on
30
earth do
seconds
they
left.
equalize this and get a 3v5? That just seems so far from possible right now.
Rotating all the way around, yeah, they're trying to get something in, but unfortunately, NRG in the situations where that first kill has gone in Loud's favor, which, by the way, is very few rounds. They just aren't really finding gaps back in, and it is going to be one of these fake timeouts and a save on the attack side. Oh my God, Tom. That was dangerously close to getting spammed down by that Ares.
Take a look at it again. It was this counter flash that was just so good.
And Artist not able to escape there despite playing the Jet, despite having his dash active. Smoke and updraft. Not the perfect choice, but also nobody able to capitalize on saving his life there. So Loud had a chance of converting the bonus. It would have been a completely different game if they had in that first half. This time they do. And it's net them the first time out an NRG. This battle between Chet and now Fraud, last year was Bazooka, is so storied. And the funny part is actually on Ascent specifically, Chet has had trouble anti-stratting against Loud. One of the goals for him when picking up an assistant coach was for them to bring forth some anti-strats against this team. Way back last year after Reykjavik. Which is funny because they actually took a map off. That was the only Ascent that they were able to take off of Loud last year. But it just gave them such a problem. And now, honestly, feels that defensive side was really good at the beginning, but just slipping out of their hands after that phenomenal ace of Som. The differences between the attack side and the defense now.
Let's go.
Aspas getting the op online after the bonus is such a strong tool, one that you might not consider in this position.
Stays concealed for now. You start to see some of the spam through the smoke. Crash uses drone. It's going to give NRG a little bit of room to work with. That alarm bot forces a pause. Meanwhile, Som waiting for some of that aggression. You see two members looking to swing out, and Som's not able to clean up either of them. And now we see that op so perfectly teed up. Looking for the second, not going to land.
They get the shot on him, though.
5 HP here.
He'll feel the pressure.
Finesse is deep. He's inserted again. But can he convert? Can he get any value out of it? Spotting one, giving the space away.
Timing wasn't great for Victor last time he went for something like that, but Finesse has found his way all the way back around through tree, so Aspas has to actually cover this.
That's finding the great timing on the Kawanzin.
I have the spike.
Now 3v3, he's still here. He's a nuisance, he's pesky, and he has not been dealt with yet. How much more attention can he draw? Right into the op of Aspas.
That pinch that Finesse set up by getting a successful flank off. Just not coming fast enough. And also, Tuiz did such a phenomenal job holding back the A main players, instantly taking one down, paranoiing in, so Aspas can take the time that he needs to deal with Finesse through that window. And it's 2 saves in a row. NRG losing control, obviously, on this attack side. They have not gotten around yet.
It's been all Loud, 4 rounds now. And you see a light buyout from NRG leading into the 5th of the half.
The important thing here and the difference between these lurks from today and yesterday against EG for NRG was those lurks were being used to control the flow of information and control the calls. Here, they're being used as the spear, as the way to find themselves back into the round. It's because these first kills from Loud are just so good. Aspas escaping despite a flash being used early here. Stinger's bought up. Crashy's the only rifle that got saved over. It's been a monster in playoffs. But you're starting to need round wins fast here for NRG, despite the economic situation.
Speaking of fast, Ardish is so far up already. And there was no room. Aspas willing to give a little bit of space up to hold a deeper choke. And that's another first round, or that's another first kill for Loud.
That stat is getting flipped on this defense. First half, they only got 2 first kills. Now they've almost gotten every single one on this defensive side.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, for recent memory, I may very well maybe all of them. Sadak taking a little bit of damage there. Getting peppered by the inferior weaponry. Oh, well, that was awkward. Unlucky timing there for Sadak as Victor cleans him up.
Aspas arrived.
30 seconds
Perched
left.
up in heaven. Oh, and he gets dropped by Finesse. Crashies has a gun here. It's a 1v2, and he's healthy. I mean, you talk about needing a big swing round, something to turn the momentum. This would be it if Crashies can pull it off. He's going to try to tuck away. He's got it down to 1. 4 HP! And Crashies with the clutch!
The absolute king of 1v2s here in playoffs. Pivotal rounds coming down to Crashies over and over. And honestly, Loud played that very, very well despite the mistimed peeks together. They rotate back into that door, break it, the turret comes up. And then they're able to double swing confidently. It's just slightly off-put, and that spray control from Crashies is just phenomenal.
Remember, it was after a big play from NRG in the previous half that Loud went aggressive. They leaned into the chaos. They fought fire with fire. What do they do here? 3 perched up, looking for a mid-pinch.
Som has got trouble right now. And he did not get the information that this is a full walkdown, so the players who are rotating in or out of B are going to be in huge trouble.
Start to see some of the smoke traded. Artist the first through.
Loud actually gave up on that mid control.
There's no smoke in market.
Well, remember, Som was getting pressured in mid.
He had dropped one down for defender spawn, but that was it. Either way, the spike down. And Finesse in a position to make a play again. He's been so consistent up until this point.
They've got to fight for control here.
3v3. Artist spamming through with the Stinger and Som in a position that has to be cleared. The paranoia is good. It's going to buy some time, but how does Tui's land that shot? Artist with the blades, not landing. Not landing at all. Loud punch back.
It was so crucial for NRG to fight back for control there because of that res, that no command that came in from Sadak, not only suppressing them, not allowing them to be any util combos, but he got res back up and made it back to even. And there definitely the call comes in really fast. This is the sort of pressure Som gets put on this team. It's a very active mid-round team, so sometimes they're gonna make a call and Som will not have his smoke available. In this instance, I think actually realizing the amount of pressure that Som was under, I think they made the right call to go into B, but just missing that market smoke. In that case, it probably should have been on market rather than spawn, given how many people were inside of mid. I don't think they really had the true information there. It was just a read.
Yeah, I think you're right. And perhaps off of that, Chet forcing a timeout. Second of the map for him. So from this point forward, NRG will be rolling without their head coach.
Crashies. The 1v2 that he just had. By the way that NRG is playing, it's going to have to be heroics like the Som ace that we saw in the first half, like the Crashies 1v2 that we just had too. And Crashies, that was his 21st clutch this season. He's been a beast. And in playoffs, you've seen it delivered in the key rounds over and over. I just don't know if there's enough juice even for that sort of round to allow them to win this game. Loud is only 3 rounds away from this first map.
And those heroics are the only thing that have netted them around here. in the second half. So you're right, it's a lot to ask for, but I guess that's the fun thing about this matchup, right? Is that there's always stuff like that that keeps it competitive, that keeps us on our toes. NRG leaning towards A. They have Crashy's Hunter Fury. A light buy here, 2 stingers from the attacking side.
I love that from Sadak too, just walking up, flashing. He definitely put himself in danger, but he got 2 pieces of key info there.
This help, Aspas getting a little info too on the dash, which is very well done. Not just preserving his life, but getting information for his team.
Oh, what?
Sadak tried getting cheeky with the try, making a play. This looks like this may be another round for NRG, unless Loud can equalize.
They've done so much right now. There's a couple players who are peppered. That Kalentzin might be able to spam with the Odin.
Or Victor may be able to spam onto less. That door may have kept him alive. 10 HP for Artis. 17 HP for Aspas. I mean, everyone's just hanging on for dear life. Clutching on to any bit of health that they could have as the spike continues to tick away. Tui's with a massive hold to get to third, potentially on the menu, but he looks the wrong way.
Didn't get the smoke off either.
And Finesse able to clean him up. A 2v2 quickly turns into a 1v2, and Finesse cannot deal.
And there's plenty of time here for Loud to get the defuse, despite how much it looked like it took to get into that site.
Man, they're fun. I want to go sit with them.
It feels like we're sitting with them already.
That's true.
NRG with the repush into tree there. Because of Finesse on the lurk, they really wanted to capitalize off of that good positional advantage that they had. But Tui's is just too good. So strong in those positions where he has to adjust really quickly his crosshair.
That's another scattered buy for NRG again. This time 2 pistols, 2 stingers. 1 rifle in the hands of Crashies. A key reason why they're still in this game.
Just toying with him. They're going back into Cat against Sadak, and I think trying to challenge the IGL right now. It's a good idea. It's very well advised. Given you know what he's gonna do.
Tui's is close by to help, and there it is. He delivers again off of the flash. Sonic nets him one of his own.
That's the spike too. It's trapped. Crashes has to try to gain it back.
There's just no real way. It seems like NRG can hold up with the weaponry that Loud bring to the table. Loud get to map point.
Match point.
This has shifted so fast. Just the 1 round by NRG. The 1v2 by Crashies is what they have on this attack side.
That timeline really tells the story.
And we reverted straight back to the traditional ideas here on Ascent. 5 is just not enough.
Time for a field test.
It's way too much to give up on your defense. And there's huge ults now for Loud too.
NRG does have some of their own, and that's gonna help.
Sadak is a silly man.
He does have silly moments, doesn't he?
Despite that, Loud, I mean, they've been phenomenal. 4v5s. They've won so many of them.
Gonna have to do it again.
5 4v5s for Loud in this map so far. I mean, that's how they got those first half rounds. I think there's definitely the tools to do it right now. The fact that NRG haven't gotten into the site after that lockdown is crazy. Tui's, oh, 1 more pulse and he's gone.
Yeah, he's dropped. Now 2 members down for the defensive side. Kalentzin still has his ult, choosing not to use it to counter the lockdown that was invested by Finesse.
And this one's key. Very difficult for them to win the round, but they can do a lot of damage. Look at the money for NRG. It is in the bin.
Really is. Artis, 2 free ones. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. The third around the wall. Dashing away, staying alive, tucking behind his cloud first.
Gun got jammed.
And that spam, I mean, how do you stay alive through that spam? Victor's here, they've showed up. There's help. That's a flawless round for NRG.
If they lost 2 guns there, all of a sudden 2 people can't buy in that round. That is huge work out of Artis to find the flank and then also to stay alive. Despite how long it took them to get into that site.
1 enemy remains.
And the fact that there were key ults on the side of Loud. Loud looked like they want to actually just wait until the opportune moment to use those so that they can end this game before it goes to overtime. 3 rounds is a lot to ask for on this attack. Thankfully, NRG have a couple key ones from their side too, the no command. Reclear here from Loud on Cat. Crashies might end up getting picked off if he's not careful. But also the flank could come really fast. You don't have any of that KJ util on this side of the map.
Most of it's towards B. For now, they delay. Artis is down. That's the entry. That's the goal button. 1-2. He's crept his way up. Cat. Just 3 left for NRG now.
And it feels like that opportune time now. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury, everything able to be thrown into this.
Yeah. I mean, really leaning everything behind that blow to put him away.
Song just tried a crazy hero play. Paranoia TP up top.
Victor tried finding window off of that Hunter's Fury, and it's just instantly shut. Now Crashies is at a huge 1v2, but a 1v5? No way. Loud take map 1.
We've seen this battle so many times. In grand finals, in group stages, during the regular season. And to speak of that, this season, the only match they played was in the regular season, where NRG came out swinging. That double duelist comp on Split where Artis and Victor got really, really active. We saw none of that same energy, despite Artis having a really, really good start. It wasn't the same, I'm gonna murder you guys level of play that we saw, and I think that's because it's the grand finals. They know Loud's gonna put it all on the table. So they gotta make sure that everything they're doing is protocols and playing off of each other.
I do think even in the instances in which NRG did try something like that, I think about the pistol, right, to open up the half where Artis fully pushed on both sides. Artis aggressively tried taking space, but Loud handled it beautifully. And if that's what we're in for, where both teams are just, again, throwing blow after blow, and it's just like who's gonna be able to absorb them the most, we're gonna be in for a good series, Balla.
This is just unreal to have these 2 teams in the grand finals. We already got 1 map down. Let's see what the next has in store for us.
What is this from EA? He is currently unstoppable. He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
Hey guys, it's EA. Welcome to my course on optimal Valorant training. I'm going to be demonstrating now some angle clearing. I'll slowly come around the corner as well, making sure no one's on these off angles.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.